Hey guys, Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. Do you know what the number one problem is up here for HVAC business owners? They think that they have matched what is possible within their business. Hey guys, Pete Ramsey again. So what does it mean to think that you've matched what is possible? Well, that's to look at what you're doing and think, I got this, I'm doing what I can. But listen, we all have our strengths and we all have our weaknesses. And in this age of all the information that's available, we've gone past the information age to information overload. Now we run into a new set of potential problems. Let's look at a few of the major areas of business. So we have certainly the financial aspect. If you don't know your numbers and you don't know them well, then you're setting yourself up for some type of a fall later. So we really have to be able to get our head around our pricing and our numbers and our budgets and all of the financial aspects. And these are talents that can be taught and they are talents that can be hired. The next one is marketing. Guys, this is so important. And this is another key. And I'm not talking about just advertising. I'm talking about marketing, internal, external, all of your processes and systems that make customers drawn towards you, liking you, doing business with you, and repeating and referring you. Another area is production. And these are all of your processes and systems throughout the business that makes you efficient and profitable, okay? But the one we're going to talk about today is leadership. Leadership is, it's everything. It's your leadership that is going to make or break your organization. Now, the fact of the matter is, if your limiting belief is that you are already matching what is possible, then you're not going to go very far. I know you're good at what you do, and I know you have your strengths, but listen to me and go with me on this. We all have areas that we need help in. We all have areas that we're weak in. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. So on the one end over here, that one of the primary beliefs that you need to have is, number one, that goal that you have, it exists. It exists. It's out there. Number two is you can find it. And number three, it's worth the effort to go find it. Now, I'll tell you a quick example. Can't remember the guy's name, but there was a guy, he got famous there for a while, and he was looking for a sunken ship full of gold. He was one of those guys. He would go out and he'd study the maps and he'd go out and search. Well, he got funding and support. 5 years went by, never found it. 10 years went by, never found it. But he stayed after it. Now, how many of us day in and day out for 5 or 10 years trying to accomplish something would stay on track, right? He understood that it was worth it. Well, fast forward 27 years after searching, he found it. So it was out there and it was worth it. But it takes a belief and an understanding that what you're doing is worth it, and the success that you're waiting on, it is out there. But you got to know that it's worth it, and you got to keep those beliefs pumped. Now, beliefs a lot of times are influenced by our emotional state. We all have bad days, right? Do you operate at your best under stress? If you're overwhelmed? If you're under pressure? If customers are screaming at you? If you're dealing with difficult employees? These are things that will dampen you, and that's why we need to have a way out, a relief from these type of emotions. We have to have help ourselves. Next, we want to talk about skills. Do you have the skills? I'm not talking about do you have the capacity for those skills. I'm saying do you have them now? And we all start from somewhere, and we're never completely there, so we can say yes to certain levels in all these areas. But listen, how important are these skills to your success? This is where so many business owners will get stuck. This is why the majority, please forgive me for saying this, of those listening, hopefully not you, will never make it. They'll never make it because they don't have the skills, right? Maybe they don't have the beliefs. But if they don't have the skills, they don't go out and hire them. They don't go out and get them. If they don't have the emotional drive, they don't get the support, they don't get the coaching, they don't get somebody to push them, they don't get accountability, they don't join groups of accountability. All of this stuff is available. And I know you're busy out there climbing up in attics, crawling under houses, making the sales, meeting with the inspector, all of these different variables that keep you tied up and busy. But until you take it to the next level and remove yourself from so much of having to be in those capacities, you won't be able to work on these other ones. Gerber said in the book, The E-Myth, we have to quit working in our business and start working on our business. And that means being a leader in establishing a culture. The culture's most important influencer is the head, the leader, you. But I'm not a good leader, Pete. I can't lead people. Yes, you can. Leadership is just this: driving people's emotions, attitudes, and beliefs in a direction that everybody is successful. It's a matter of you inspiring your team, keeping them pumped, and even during those emotional lows and those setbacks, we call them failures, but they're just setbacks because they will be out there and they're waiting on you around the next corner, right? So you get there, you stumble, you fall down, and you get up and you keep going, because we all know that success is not a downhill trip. It's an uphill trip, and there's a lot of obstacles, and there's a lot of times we're going to fall back a few steps before we have to get up and dust off and do it again. Look, 80% of what you need to know, you can go out there and learn. So get some training, get the additional support, all the things that you need, and start improving these areas and managing your weaker areas and playing towards your strengths, right? But I asked the question over there in the circle portion. What about knowing? You know this stuff. A lot of this stuff you already know. Knowing is not enough. Knowing is a pacification in your mind. I know that is holding you back, and you're not executing. If you are executing, you're 90% of the way there. Execution is everything. Knowing what to do is useless if somebody doesn't get out there and get it done. Are you making it? Are you making the success that you want? Do you have the beliefs? Maybe you need some help with your belief system. Do you have the skills? Maybe you need some help with the skills department. You don't have to know everything. If you're a good leader, one of your skill sets needs to be able to identify other leaders that you can hire that can work within your organization so that you're free to lead in other areas and they can lead within each department. So as a leader, you have to believe, and you have to set the standard for everybody else's beliefs. Do you believe it's worth it? Do you believe it's out there? Do you think you can do it? Do you have what it takes? If not, get some guidance, get some help. Do you have the skills? Do you know how to take these steps? You know what the next step should be? If not, get some help. Do you have the culture? If not, get some help, take charge. Now, maintaining a positive attitude during all this stress is difficult. So there was a Harvard study about 3 or 4 years ago, and they came back with what they called a super posture. And what they determined was that the emotional state and the physical state are directly connected. Maybe you've heard this before. And here's what they said. If you would take what they call a power state, a power stance, whatever that is, Superman, Wonder Woman, right? And if you can hold that for 2 minutes, at the end of the 2 minutes, your testosterone is jumped by over 20%. Your cortisol, the stress hormone, is dropped by 18%. And the likelihood that you're going to take a chance and make a decision jumps by 33%. Leaders make tough decisions. So the point is, if you find yourself down, this is a simple exercise. Close the door, get your power stance, take a few breaths, and just reset your mind, and you're back in control. Little exercise. Maybe you know the NLP expert Tony Robbins. He takes it to a whole nother level. He does noise and motion and breathing, and he just combines it all. And he says he can get 10 times that effect. Just something to think about if you want to get out there and learn a few techniques. But the reality of it is, we have to take care of ourselves, because when you get the closer to the top you get, the fewer the people. And if you're the one at the very top, who do you go to? We all need help, right? So reach out, get a little help, get some support, even if it's a peer group, a coach, a trainer. Go take some classes. Whatever it is that motivates you, get that help. Life is not an island. We're all out here together, right? And we can all help each other. We all have our strengths. Play to yours and manage your weaknesses and get some help and grow, right? Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. Hope this helps. A little tip of the day. You take care. Bye-bye.